So to start crafting, you grab buy until rating, and you set it up something like this. I can explain that later. Then you go to Brunt's Armory, and the weapon you want to buy, you just let it roll until you get a 370. Now, I already got a few 370 bases as well. I recommend getting at least 1, 2, or 3 if you really want to start the crafting process. Then check the base stats. Now, this is where you need to know what you're looking for. Like, this is really good. Because the difference between 71% damage and 80% damage here is 500 is this. We lose 12 damage. So you're talking like, it's like 3% damage. But at the benefit of getting flat, like 5% more damage on penetration and critical. To find this information out, I recommend another mod. It's called like True Weapon Stats. And it shows you the range of what your rolls are between 0 and 80%. Because for some reason, there's like an extra 20% you can't access. But so like right here, so we're missing out on 0.6% critical damage. Who cares? We're missing out on 1% carapace damage. Who cares? But we gave up like 2% base damage. That's pretty good. We gained more damage against important things through this than we did on that. Whereas something like this is really bad. Because as you can see, we miss out on 9% flak armor near, like 6% flak armor far. Same for carapace. Then we move out on 4%. So if we shoot like a crusher or a flak armored enemy and we get a crit, we miss out on like 12% possible damage just to gain like 1% base damage here. It's not worth it at all. Anyone who tells you it's worth it is a fucking idiot, frankly. Like this is okay. So we've got 2 revolver bases that we can work with here. Okay, so now you would go into Hadron, and you need to have an idea of what you're looking for. So this is already bad. We don't want this. This is terrible. We roll until blue. Okay, surgical's good. I would much rather it be surgical 4, but surgical is one of the blessings that I had in mind that I'm okay with. So in a situation like this, we have to consider we keep rolling it. Okay, so this is bad. We don't continue rolling this because these perks are legitimately awful, and we want to change both of these perks to something better. So this means we have to hope we roll into a good blessing. That's just not going to work out in your favor most of the time. So you go to the next one. Okay, this perk is terrible. Speed load isn't bad, especially not speed load 4, so we're going to keep going with it. I don't know how this is possible. This is insane to roll the exact same 2 perks. But because speed load 4, we're just gonna rip this off because again, there's how many blessings in total? There's 9 to 10, so there's about 10 possible blessings before we even get into considering the chance of rolling a tier 3 versus a tier 4. So think about it logically. You don't want most of this. So most of this shit. And there's 2 chances to roll it. So let's say you want surgical hand cannon, because a lot of people do. Well, that means you have like a fucking 1 in 20 chance to roll that from this point. So you don't want this. From this, you just rip the blessing off. And then you go back to Brunt's. And then you just buy more bases. So more crafting theory for you here while we roll these. You are looking, ideally, for 1 perk and 1 acceptable blessing in the first 2 rolls. Oh, wait, this is the wrong button. So now we go back to Hadron. And then let's see. This is bad. This is kind of bad. This is not terrible. This is okay. This is okay. All right, we'll do this one. Mobility on the revolver is not important because the revolver is not... Okay, that's not good. Okay, so like we just stop here. We got a bad blessing, a bad perk. This means our next 2 and more expensive rolls need to roll into good things, so we can then use our 2 free modifications to roll over this. That's probably not going to happen, so we don't even want to fuck with that at that point. Range damage elite isn't terrible. I don't really want speed load. So now we are starting to dig more towards the bottom of the barrel here. So this is bricked as well. I don't really want to do these 2 because penetration is actually pretty important on the revolver, but I will do this one just to see if we get anything. Okay, critical hit damage in surgical It's not the greatest, but it's worth rolling the next perk to see. Maniac damage is pretty bad on the Revolver. The Revolver, if it's well built, is already one-shotting every Maniac without this. So this is already like a dead roll. So normally, I think I just go back to Brunt here. And then we buy a few more bases. Now, by the way, you can change what you're willing to go for with your unique crafting material, however much you have. If you don't play this game for 10 hours a day like I do, and you're not absolutely fucking stacked on materials, just make your range of what you're willing to accept. Holy fuck, that's bad. Make the range of what you're willing to accept a little lower. Okay, critical strike chance. This is good. So we've got a good first perk. An okay blessing. Flak is good. This is not a terrible Revolver, so we're gonna go ahead and go all the way. Crushing 4. Okay. This is salvageable. This is an example of a salvageable weapon. We could keep these 2 perks and change the blessings into whatever we want. Or we could change the 1 blessing into something we want. Like, we could change this into surgical and have surgical crushing. Yeah. We could go, like, surgical crushing and then make this, like, flak and make this, like, carapace. Or just keep the critical strike chance and use something like power sword to deal with crushers. Because, really, that's the only reason you want carapace is for crushers. So this is a winning Revolver. This is workable. It is salvageable. This is not awful. And you just kind of process of elimination and roll the odds to your own. Like, you want to roll in the most advantageous way. A lot of weapons, you stop... Oh, shit, I hit the wrong button. A lot of weapons, you stop, like here, because a lot of them are just dead. Yeah, like these are basically just completely dead. This one is, like, possibly okay. If we roll this into, like... You know, like a godlike tier 4 blessing, and then we just change these 2 perks. So this is something that I'll do because it's you know, I have so many resources and I play so much. I know this is like not even a day's worth of playing for me. Okay, point blank 4. That's whatever. It's not, you know, like, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just acceptable. But you're really just using process of elimination to whittle your way down into things that are going to give you the most likely chance to get what you want.